Hi and welcome to Rainy Day Crafting. Sorry I've not been on for a little while, been a bit poorly, so unfortunately no videos, but I'm back. And today I'm going to do, it's awful what's going on in the world at the minute, isn't it, with the Ukraines and things. Horrendous. But anyways, the sunflower is the Ukrainians flag, not flower, but anyway, you know what I mean. So I'm going to do a quite simple card, but it's a bit of paper piecing. So I don't know if you've done paper piecing before, but that's, if you haven't, I'm going to show you sort of how basic and easy, and a few little tips and techniques that make it easier still. Okay, so I'm going to use my Big Shot. I'm standing up a minute just because this is sort of here. If you're new to this, welcome. If you're new to crafting, welcome. I sort of try and make a lot of my projects as easy as possible to follow. I'm not adept enough to know how to where you have to edit your video, so this is all in real time, but I tend to be a bit Blue Peterish on the pretext that I've done earlier. Anyway, so with this you need all your pads, I don't know if you call them pads actually. Okay, they just for anyone's new, they get quite worn, yeah, but there's not much you can do about it. What I do is try and I put a bit of tape on there and try and sort of use one at the top, but keep turning it around because they will warp. Anyway, just as a tip here, this is the die we're going to use. It's a no named one as such, and I'm going to do yellow for the sunflower. But if you've got any of this packaging, keep it. I've got a bag, a sort of carry bag of all bits and pieces, when you get your deliveries and things. Keep it, because this is brilliant. If you haven't got anything like that, do you I'm a right one for sort of recycling things, those you pop in the tumble dryer, sometimes with your washing, even something like that underneath. Oh, I'm being numpty. Right, so you put your base plate on and you pop that there, card over the top. Okay, so then you want to obviously maximize as much of the card as you can, so that's sort of going up the corner there. Okay, if you're not happy with just putting the other plate on, you could always stick it down, but you'll obviously need some tape that's sort of not very sticky. I personally think this is quite good. This is just your typical run-of-the-mill masking tape that you can get in that very cheap shop, Poundland or wherever. It's not ever so sticky. You still have to be careful though, because sometimes when it's been pushed through a couple of plates, it can be really, really then tighter. But what I tend to do, if it's in the right place, it's not generally going to move. And if you are new to this noise you're now going to hear, the creaking and thing, because I know a lot of people think, oh my goodness, have I broke my machine? But anyway, through it goes. Let me just show you what I'm going to do. I'm just taking this out exactly as it went in, so bear with me a moment. Let's get rid of my machine. Now where your top two plates are, literally while they're sandwiched in there together, turn it over. Typically, actually, that's now it's not all kept on there. Oh, it has fairly, actually. There's a few bits, as you can see, but generally they've all sort of fairly stuck to there. So what we're now going to be doing, they're in the right place. Let me just take that off there. Obviously it tends to ruin the stuff, but can you see it's practically kept them all together? I mean, if I show you this one, look, one I did earlier, they're all totally in their place again, so it sort of allows you to work with them. Okay, so let's just put that to one side. So obviously we've got the odd ones here, which then it does become a bit of the jigsaw. Okay, good for easiness, just pop that where it goes, because the thing is, if you just let them all tip out, it seriously is like doing a jigsaw. Anyway, and then the other bits, just leave them to one side. So right, let's put that out of the way. Let's put these two to the side. These go under my desk. Get my chair, and I'm back with you. Right, the card size I'm going to use is this typical, it's A5. Just for purposes, what I tend to buy them already made up with the envelopes, 4 by 7 is it, I think, 4 by 6. Okay, so this, as you can see, is not to fit, but you know, similar. So what I've then done, yeah, I have then, one I've done earlier, I just show you because I've got some of these I've done here. What I would then do is work out where it's going to go, yeah, and then with my daubers, because I've poked out all the bits. This is out of a white one, so obviously I've run 2 or 3 through. As you can see, I've sort of done a few here and poked them all out. But so if you can sort of work out roughly where that is, then often if you've got daubers, they've still got some of the stuff on. So just to give it that background, doing it quite heavy because there's actually not that much on there. Doesn't matter if you go over, just roughly whereabouts that's going to be. There we are. So that's got the background there. Then with the glue, we're going to turn it over and stick that down. Okay, so if I just I'll quickly do this as quick as I can, but like I say, I'm sort of doing this for you. It's a little bit like Blue Peter one I did earlier, because well, actually I had videoed this before. This was last week because I was going to look after my mum for a few days so my sister could go away because she lives with her. And I tried to then do a video. This was probably, would have been last Thursday, although like I say, I've been a bit poorly myself, and fiddled around, apologising because I do it in real time, because I sort of fiddled around and it did take longer, because I sort of showed paper piece and all the bits in. Anyway, doing these big apologies on there, and actually I hadn't pushed the button on to record, so I hadn't actually recorded it. So I then decided, well, actually I'll just have to wait. So like I say, these little glue containers with a sort of, I suppose it's a stainless steel sort of pinny bit in, are absolutely brilliant. So I think you buy a couple from like eBay or Amazon. We're talking sort of 3 or 4 quid. Right, mark that sort of where you want to go. I forgot to then say, always try and remember to make sure you've actually put it on the way you want to open it. Okay, I think gone slightly. So remember, you've got some bits and pieces that are actually pulled out of here, which then sort of fit back in. So while that's just sort of, well, drying there a little bit, I'm a great believer in keeping all the bits and pieces. So already, you know, you've got the start of a very nice card. So what I'm going to do, Blueprint Sketch, which that's possibly Ukrainian card colour, isn't it? So then I'll just use that on the other side of here, because this will now dry. I don't know which one this is. Oh, it's a bit of a brighter one. Let's use a new one. Always tempted to sort of see how it's turned. Oh, that's quite a juicy one. Okay, so actually, seeing I've got that on here, I might as well just do it on there. Whoops. Lovely colour, actually. This is, what did I say it was? Blue Sketch, I think it was. Blueprint Sketch. Do you know what? My husband has, over the last sort of couple of years, 3 years, has bought me a set of 12 of these, because they're not cheap really, are they, for birthdays and Christmases. But in my haul I've got another set of 12 that he bought me for Christmas. Like, we still, because obviously you need to label them up like on the side as to what they are to go into the rack, and anyway, they are still sitting there. There you go. Anyway, so I'm doing this. If you haven't, you know, please, the whole thing of my channel here is not so you rush out and buy things. Yes, I'm doing a sunflower just because I just thought it would be a nice card to do in respect for all what's going on at the moment. But you could do something else, you know. Okay, it wouldn't be a Ukrainian, I suppose. But the technique, if you've got anything of a die, you know, that's got push out cutouts, do a card like that. Oh, just while I'm on the subject of that, I have got a rainy day crafting page as well. that please feel free to join. And if you like what you're seeing here now, please push the subscribe button. Tell your crafty friends. Okay, so I should just leave that to one side. Let's just dry just a little bit. I missed a bit there. Hang on 2 seconds. I just don't want it to be that I get it on my fingers, because you know the next thing you've got it all over your card, haven't you? Yeah, not bad. Right, so that, I mean, I could use the dryer on it, but anyway, so these little daubers, I've got brushes that are very good, which like these, which are very good for blending, but these are little daubers you can get, and obviously you pop them away, and they often, when you get them out again, there's still some colour in them, which actually a tip, I've always washed these out after I've used them, but really you're washing away a lot of your dye, aren't you? So really probably keep certain ones for certain colours, certain shades or something. Anyway, back to the card in hand. So that was, you know, I've had my grandson since I've last made the cards, so the baby wipes are probably in the other room now. Anyway, so basically what we're now going to do is the paper piecing. I'll start with this one purely because this is here, and so all you then do, and this is a really therapeutic, enjoyable, let's have a little look. See now, typically here, I don't know what's going where, so let me just, to show you to start with, let's just do it with, I turn it around so it's the same way. Yeah, but because you've got the packaging underneath, so all you do, a bit of glue, yeah, and pop it in. It's literally bit by bit. If I just go through, and then I'll literally say, and here's one I've done earlier. Okay, so can you sort of see how therapeutic it is? Now, if you find sort of your hands is a bit too fiddly, I've got one of these. I'm not sure if this came out of that might be out of my crafting stuff, but I've sort of done lots of crafts over the years, to be fair, but I really do love my I've named my site or channel Rainy Day Crafting because I like lots of different crafts, although ever since I've started this one, it's always been cards or boxes and things like that. But look back on some of the others. But anyway, one of these little tools with a bit of blue tack on the end, so easy to be able to pick up. You see, typically I can't work out where that one is particularly. I was going to say it's that one, but I don't think it is. So let's just put a couple more so you get the gist of what I'm doing. Yep, so like here, bit of and continue all the way round. Can you see how sometimes it's hard to pick up, but you have that. There are little sticky tools you can get that will pick up things, but a little bit of blue tack on the end of, to be fair, you don't even need the tool that I'm now using. You could have it on the end of a pencil, couldn't you? So, but can you sort of see how therapeutic this really is? If you were just starting off on this, I would probably be tempted to say, try something pretty easy to start with, because you could find that, you know, if it's got lots and lots of pieces, I don't want to lose any of these bits because I will finish this card off later. But then imagine if that was finished, and then this is going to be popped in there. I don't know if it's dry enough, so let's have a little look. Bit of glue. Which again, this is the big piece of jigsaw, so that will then fit in there. Perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to pull these to one side not to lose them, because I want to use some other bits, and I will show you one that I did earlier. Like I say, I don't want to lose them because I shall finish that card. Another one there. Okay, so here's one I did, oh, I could have then put that blue in there actually. So here's one that I finished, but I did it in the paler colour. But that's quite nice in the deeper colour. So that's that one. Now, here's one I literally finished off before. But what I want to show you is that one I actually did with some sort of orange and yellows, which I quite liked, but not enough. So, but I then took a little die that's actually got sending hugs, which you could put sending hugs on there, but it doesn't fit very well. So what now, with I will then fit another piece on there, but if you imagine that's finished, I should come back and finish that. So that's more like it. But with this one, if you wanted to as well, I just want to give you, as I love to give you lots of tips and ideas, if you wanted to, you could now, for example, let me just show you on another regular card, how you can get lots of different effects using the same die. So imagine that's on there. Oh no, actually do it the other way around. Put that colour on there, stick that down, yeah, and then you could stick this one, glue this on slightly on the H, okay. So I'd be tempted if you were going to do, say, the blue or something there, although it's a totally different card, isn't it? But can you sort of see the effect it gives you, whereas picking up the bits of orange, so it's like almost like the shadow, which is really quite lovely. Which you could do it that colour, you could do it just the yellow underneath. You know, I mean, to be fair, you could just do a card, couldn't you, like that, and put all the white back in. Yeah, I mean, the white ones I pulled out, I actually did end up, dare I say it, they went in the bin because there was just too many, and I thought I'd be like doing a 1,000-piece jigsaw to get it right. So yeah, so again, you could do that same slightly on the H, cause that shadow. But what I'd probably do, if that's what I was doing, if I was going to stick these together, I'd probably not stick it down on here, but stick them together like that. And then entirely up to you, if you were then going to put, say, the other one in, I might then go ahead and just cut the extra off on the edge, yeah, and then stick it down on your card. Anyway, so we're nearly there. Like I said, this is going to be quite a quick one. That one isn't quite finished, but I will finish that later. That one's that with the two-tone. This is one like that, which if I'd put the blue in there, yeah, which I could now do that, but that could end up smudging everywhere. But then as far as the hugs, this is another little tip. If you've been watching my channel, I sort of probably told you this tip a few times, but it's an easy one, because if you look at that, you could think, well, what is it? What is it? You almost need the mirror to work out. Obviously, that's again is the shadow piece, and then this die is the sending hugs. But I just think the hugs fit on there just lovely. So rather than waste any of this paper that's here, what I would do, I think this one's getting a bit old, so I tend to use a little bit of cornflake wrapper or something in there, or you could use a little bit of packaging. I only want the hugs word, so pop that down. You just have to have these if you have them. Obviously, these are Sizzix, which I've got no affiliation with, although I like Sizzix very much. But there are other ones on the market too. Whoops, now you see, now I'm doing that, it's now all moved. So, but usually if I pop that down like that, it's not going to move far, through there and back again, and there we should have, yes, come out lovely. She says. Just slightly, a little pokey tool. Like I said, if you haven't got a pokey tool, a pin or a safety pin would work, or even an empty ballpoint, you know, because obviously you don't want to mark it with ink, do you? So there we have. So if we wanted to, so if you can imagine that was now finished, I know it's not, but just for sort of your own purposes, that would then glue on there perfectly lovely, and you've got a great card. Shame I haven't finished that, but so that's just showing you. So till the next time, hope you enjoy. Leave me a comment, and see you next time. All the very best, and thank you.